Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wolf and I'm casting a game between Styze and KangasKhan, the ace match of the StarCraft Central Golden Under Tournament. Yeah, that sounded good. Scrap Station, one of my favorite, if not the favorite map of the Wolf. I love a combat and I love a scrap station. This game's a long one, but I'm gonna go really well and just be it with you guys. This is a good game. I think only a couple people got to see it live, which I think would be Azomazao and Mozzarella. And I'm very glad I can be casting this game for you guys. This game is an amazingly awesome one to watch. And I did not watch it actually. I preloaded it down here. I was watching the mini-map. You just can't help it, you know? You're like, oh, this is so cool. So much mini-map action. And I expected to see no units down here. I did. Somebody had a unit fly down here really close to the corner of the map. I just thought it was hilarious. I intentionally tried to avoid it. And I still managed to see something. Little late for the gate. Not too bad, though. Just a little. There goes the 15 hatch. Expanding on this map is very nice for Zerg players that don't face a 2-gate. Well, even a 2-gate. Long rush distance. Easy to defend expansion at early points of the game. It can be harder if they get up here. But, I actually had an idea for dealing with hatcheries like this using probably Blink Stalkers or Dark Templar. This spot up here is really nice for a pylon, so if you actually just moved right past this, if Kang didn't have excellent Overlord placement, you could just move and get your probe up here and put a pylon down. He'd never be able to see it. I mean, if you look at the, well, you can't really see it. Hatcheries can only see about this much, though. I think it's pretty pathetic how much they can see. Maybe it's about this, but you could sneak a probe, woo, down here. It'd be fine. Seeing that fast expansion, forgot the production tab. I'm sorry. I'm coming. Man, gateways are so cool. Like, what would you do if you saw one of these in real life? I'd probably just jizz all over the chair. Oh, man, that's weird. That's really weird. It's just not very responsive when I'm playing sideways. I guess I won't be playing sideways very much. Also, this looks kind of like a face, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, I'm feeling it, guys. I'm feeling this game. I'm getting tired, though. I'm casting for a very long time. It's going to be about 2 hours in total, I think. If my mind isn't off. It's almost 4 o'clock. 4:30-ish. Ish fish. Does your ish fish look like this? Take a drink. Worst thing is, too, when I'm just done with the cast, I'll take a drink of water. My mouth is still moving so fast and my hands are a little shaky. I drink the water and like I choke myself a little bit. I'm like, oh, that was awesome. There is another Skywalker. Destructible debris 3. I like how it's called hardened material. I don't think technically rocks were hardened. I guess they kind of were. Depends on the rock, you know. If it was a sedimentary rock, then yeah, I guess it was hardened, you know, layer upon layer. But of course, these are rocks just magically floating in space. So I guess they were kind of sedimentary because they were just beating against each other. I need to ask somebody about that. I never even thought about that. What rocks in space are considered? Are they igneous, metamorphic, or sedimentary? So we got 2-gate Stargate going down. Ooh, very, very, very mean to Zerg players, especially if they're not ready for it. I mean, there's a lot of builds you can fight off against if you're not ready for it. Void Rays, if you're not ready for Void Rays as a Zerg player on this map, you will die. There is such a short rush distance for air. Rape slice. But we do have some Phoenix and a little bit of macro fail, so I think King is going to look out there. Personally, I prefer Void Rays for sniping Overlords. I do know there's advantages and disadvantages to using Void Rays versus Phoenixes, but other than for combat, let's pretend the Zerg, you're harassing the Zerg player, right? You're Protoss, because Protoss is the best race. You're playing against one of the dirty Zergs. And you use a Phoenix or a Void Ray to harass. Well, I mean, they'll both do well, but when it comes down to fighting outside of combat, which one would you prefer? That's my preference, is a Void Ray, because they're good against armored rather than light. I mean, what light units are there to fight against Zerg? What light units are you going to be fighting against? Well, you have Hydralisks, which I don't know how many of you have ever tried, but Phoenix will probably lose really bad to Hydralisks because they cost less, and there's going to be more of them than there are Phoenix. And they can fight Zerglings, which for similar reasons is completely idiotic. I don't know how many Zerglings you intend to pick off with Phoenix, but you better have a lot of them. And Mutalisk, which I completely support that. I don't know a lot of Zerg players that go Mutalisk. So when it comes down to out of combat examples, or out of harassment, that's the word I'm looking for. When it comes down to out of harassment examples, Phoenix just kind of falls behind for me. The Void Ray is good for dealing with Corruptors, which you can see against Colossus. Broodlords, which aren't impossible to see, more likely to see than Ultralisk, which the Void Ray does do well against. Void Rays don't require any heavy level of micro to use, but they're both good for harassment. And so we're going to see a pickup. Bing, bing, bing. They do deal with queens overall better. I mean, they're not taking any shots here, so you're going to be able to take out this queen just fine. Yes, so you need the 4, I guess. Unfortunately, we have a Spore Crawler coming in. I guess Kingo was slightly ready for this, or he just kind of incorporated an Evolution Chamber into his builds. He will be able to... Red Protoss will be able to snipe some Overlords here, but it just feels like it takes a long time for me. Like a single Voider would have killed that Overlord just as fast. Of course, they'll have trouble dealing with these queens. There's 2 of them, but realistically, I don't sympathize. I don't see much of a reason to get Phoenix against Zerg players. There's reasons. They're not useless, but I've listed my ideas. They do beat them in the speed game, though. I mean, if you had good control over 2 groups of units, then you could harass your heart away while destroying a shit ton of drones. But that's the other thing, too, is, I mean, these Spore Crawlers just shut that down. They did damage. That was definitely worth it. Those Phoenix did a great job. But they can't do anything now. There's nothing they can do. Those Spore Crawlers will just destroy them, and there's nothing they can do against the Spore Crawlers. They can still hit here, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And so that harassment was able to kind of secure an expansion. Probably should have secured faster. Problem with Phoenix, especially against Void Rays, it's much harder to harass with them. They require a lot more attention and actions per minute than a Void Ray does. And so he did do a great job harassing with those Phoenix, but it did cost him some macro. I would say that he's ahead, though. Zerg player to put down some spores, lost a couple Overlords, slowed down. Got 64 food to 58, I think. And then, of course, the build of minerals and gas. So, kind of even overall, but did get that expand out. So, I'd give it to red. Go red! I'm sorry, guys. Kanga, you're my favorite color. If you guys haven't noticed, I always play as green in custom games, because that's just cool. Green is the supreme race color. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, you gonna hit that unprotected mineral line? It's unprotected! Oh. Yes, pick it up. Okay, that was not very sexually attractive. That was definitely like a premature ejaculation. And then there's like attempt number 2 at it. Like, don't worry guys, I can still do this. Yes, get that Overlord. Get him! I mean, 4 of them took him that long. 2 Voiders could have killed that way faster. Voiders are slower. They no longer have the Flux Veins upgrade. I'm gonna miss that. Phoenix can't get away from that. I'll give it to them. A Void Ray caught in that position would have probably died. Phoenix got away, no problem. They're still kind of worthless, but oh, get the Overlord. I'll forgive you and have sex with you again, Red Protoss player, if you destroy this Overlord. Styze. Skies, Ryu's eyes. Get that Overlord. Get that Overlord. You know, the other thing is, Voiders benefit from attack upgrades much more efficiently than Phoenix do. Phoenix attack twice, and they do get +2, I think. +1 to damage and +2 to light, if I remember right. But Voiders get +1, and they attack, you know. Can you guys hear that? They attack, like, versus the Phoenix, which is like... So, I'm just going to have to stick with the Void Ray. I don't see very many reasons to use Phoenix against anything but Mutalisk. Yeah. anything but Mutalisk. I'm sitting here trying to think of a good reason to use Phoenix. I guess they're kind of like Corruptors. The thing they do best is deal with Phoenix, or Mutalisks. Phoenix deal with Mutalisk. And Corruptors deal with Colossus. Fortunately for you Zerg players, they both come out of the same building. Unfortunately for us Protoss players, they are completely different tech paths. We do have a robotics bay going down, so we're going to see some, Colossus. And these Phoenix, actually, there is one advantage. Here's one advantage for them. They scout very nicely. Their speed and maneuverability allows them to scout an entire base very easily. And so he's completely ready for these Hydralisks. This is it, Hydralisks. I mean, Kanga's ready for air assaults of any time. There's nothing an air attack could do. Even if they moved in and out, it just wouldn't be enough while running away from those freaky Hydralisks. But he's going to get some Colossus. And opening Star getting Zerg into Colossus is actually extremely effective. If you guys don't know about the Death Ball, getting Void Rays, Colossus, Stalkers, and Zealots a couple sentries, that is pretty much impossible for a Zerg to stop. It's not impossible completely, but obviously it's very difficult to stop against, Corruptors don't do it. There's not a lot of Zerg units that fight Colossus very well. Corruptors do. Void Rays destroy Corruptors very easily. Ooh, didn't want to miss that. Oh, found a bit of a weakness in the whole... Found a weakness here. Unfortunately, was not able to kill the Queen for whatever reason. Must have been a transfuse. I hope so. I guess that's it. The transfuse was very well timed by Kanga. If it wasn't for that, he'd be in a lot of danger right there. His mineral line would have been pretty unprotected and would just got obliterated. What the hell was that? Oh man, I must have like swallowed my own spit. I don't know when that happened though. Go orange juice. My teeth are sore because of how much I've been talking. It's not... I'm not used to talking this much. Overlord like shit. Let's get out of here. Can you guys just see what I mean? It just takes a long time to kill Overlords with 4 Phoenix. Look at that face again. That's not what I was thinking about though. I was thinking about this. Space mining. I don't know what that says. The future. That's the future of space mining. HK, Heckler and Koch, gun manufacturers. Nuke Cola. Just gonna throw it out there. There should be an A down here. Pointing out the silly things. ITV, pointing out silly things. Hydralisks are pretty cool too. They can dance. Don't believe me? Do it. There's another Nuka-Cola right there. Nuke-a-Cola. That's kind of weird. Look, the word just disappears right there and then respawns. That's totally weird. See? Cola. Not the full word. Watch the word nuke go into it. N will disappear and then respawn on the other side. How do I notice these silly things? I bet there's probably not even an image on the other side. Yeah, look. Damn it, stupid. We're going to go ahead and just move over here first and then we're going to look. I know we're not looking at the game. Be quiet. See, there's no image on this side. Now, there we go. Expansion. Uh-oh. Lots of stalkers. They caught the roaches out of position. They're going to need this Colossus support immediately to deal with these. There's just so many Hydralisks, though. I don't know what they're... This is bad. I mean, shooting the roaches is not where you want to be. There we go. And now, if he gets the Colossus on the Hydralisks, he should be able to hold this off pretty successfully. I don't know. He might have to cancel and fall back, though. That was really, really bad positioning by both players. But then, the thing that really killed Styze right here was attacking the roaches and not the Hydras. With good control of his Colossus, he's still got a good chance of just taking out all the rest of the units here. But it's going to be difficult. There's the high ground, though. So it should be safe up there. Going to have to cancel this probably... Oh, what's he got for reinforcements? You're going to need something, buddy. I'm not zoomed out all the way, sorry. 2 more Colossus on the way. Did have to cancel that, so King did do a good pickup right there. Hopefully we'll be able to use these Phoenix for a little bit of harassment. You guys can see the macro failage from those Phoenix, though. Really, really bad. Probably not even... something. He needs more gas, or he needs to get more Zealots. Styze, that is my suggestion to you. Besides getting a 3rd guy on this gas, you require more Zealots. You need to have some Zealots with your army at all times. This mass stalker BS not going to cut it. There we go. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I saw these units. It was just so cool. Even though I don't really like Phoenix that much. They're probably my least favorite Protoss unit, although I still like them. Next to the Mothership. The only Protoss unit that I dislike because it sucks. Stop bullshitting me. Archon toilet shit. I know it works if you get Archons and Motherships together. Probably works about as well as getting Ultralisks and Broodlords together. That's what you're asking me to do. I'm not doing it. Shut up. No harassment will be done here. There's nothing that can be done for these Phoenix except for scouting, mostly, and that's around the perimeter. Like his overlords are all like lined up. We don't need no education. Oh, Colossus. What is dangerous? Kanga. What's Kanga's mistake right now, guys? He's sitting safely on 3 bases. He's not pushing his advantage. He's not pushing his advantage. He's doing what he always does and texts to Spire, but he's not getting a 4th base, which I admit isn't easy on this map. I mean, you have to take out the rocks and grab this, float over between the map for either these bases or take this, lol. But he's not grabbing a 4th base. He's not really maxing out. He should just max out his army and go win right now. He could do that quite easily. Protoss player is mostly on the macro fail side of things, especially, yeah, getting one more guy in that gas would really change that up. Warping in some more pylons. I casted for 2 hours, guys. Shut up. I'll make mistakes. It gets tiring to move the mouse so much. Ooh. Man, that was like the kiss of life right there. We all could have been spared, you little kiss of life. That's what I like to call a shotgun when I play with my friends on Call of Duty. Because you got to get so close to people with some of those shotguns. I'm like, I'm going to give them the kiss of life. Give me a second, guys. I'll give them the kiss of life. It's kind of weird looking. Wonder what's going on in there. I just, it looks kind of racist to me, if you guys are picking up on that. I mean, it's a big chamber full of gas. It closes and opens. Okay. I mean, if you guys were thinking what I was thinking, I was imagining a ton of Ewoks in there being burned to death. But that's just me. I hate Ewoks. They're so annoying. It's like Jar Jar. Why would you put giant teddy bears in a movie? For kids? Sure. Kids like thinking just as much as adults do. They also like lightsabers and star battles, Star Wars air units fighting each other. You don't need Jar Jar to do that. I would appreciate a few things from you guys below. 1, thanks Icefang, you casted really long. I'm proud of you. 2, this game was really good. Here's some comment about it. 3, Jar Jar sucks. Post something below about how much you hate Jar Jar and or Ewoks. Jawas are kind of cool. Ichuda. But, yeah, Jar Jar is the main. ITV, it's mostly about Jar Jar. Man. I'm dying over here. We have the island. That's the word. I don't even know if it's technically an island. It doesn't follow the normal pattern for islands, but Styze is doing actually pretty well in terms of how much minerals he has. He needs to spend it better, so that's why he's getting 4 more gateways, 2 forges for the upgrades, and so he'll be actually kind of semi-secret expanding up here. For this game, I would say that the Phoenix did a good job of one big thing, and that's Overlord placement. Kanga has really good Overlord control, placement, and effectiveness, but when it comes down to it, when he's forced to kind of keep them all like this, he's playing a lot more blind than he usually does. His army is scary. He's banking resources. He's going for another gold expansion. I guess he must have killed the other expansion. That's definitely out of position. I don't know. That looks weird. The whole like box around it. Never noticed that before. I guess they don't usually expand to the gold though. It's just this is very dangerous right here. I don't know why he's not just attacking and winning. This is dangerous too. Don't get me wrong. Oh man, I use that expression. My great uncle says that all the time. It doesn't even make sense. Don't get me wrong. Well, what are you gonna do? Get me right? Hey guys, don't get me wrong or get me right. I want you guys to get me right. That doesn't even make sense. I'm sorry for saying that. I'm surprised we're not seeing a hive yet. Broodlords, +3 armor and missile weapons. Very powerful indeed. I'm also surprised he's not just attacking and winning right now. He's letting the Protoss re-macro up an army. He is kind of expanding. If I was in a similar position, I'd actually probably expand a couple times. I'd expand to every base just to get larva going. As it stands, he would be able to recreate a pretty good chunk of his army, probably about 300 food at this time. Mr. Protoss is looking pretty good. Just macro failage at this point. Probably got 3 guys on the gas. No, by 3 I mean 1. Kind of cry on the inside a little bit there. But he does have that nice expansion going on. Okay, clearly we're reaching that point where it's kind of going at 1 times speed and not 2 times speed. Or 1 time, it's going half speed and not normal speed, I'm trying to say. Gotta get those guys working. Even though you still have a ton of minerals and gas, it's pure macro failage, my friends. Needs to warp in really bad. And I guess he just went AFK for a couple of minutes. I don't know. Stalkers! Is this an internet predator? We will talk to a real internet predator, and we will learn about his kinds and stuff. Poor Automatron 2000. You know, biggest thing about... That's weird. It's not armored or light. It's just mechanical. Nothing has a bonus against it. I can't remember what I was going to say. It was definitely more important than that, though. Oh, well. Dang. Man, King is overpowered now. I mean, a Diamond complained about Zerg being overpowered at late game. Well, I consider this kind of be late game. He's banked so much minerals and expansions and resources on... Jesus. Larva? Much. Gonna morph into a hive. Good to some broodlords. Definitely gonna see some upgrades here, though. I'm sure that's what King is looking for mostly. Not much for either player right now. Just kind of macroing it up. I'm surprised King hasn't attacked yet. I have to say, personally, if I got to a 200 army, I would just attack with Zerg. I know that banking feels nice. It's like you have 400 army right now, but it's still really dangerous, and you know you had the lead. We have 9 Corruptors versus 9 Colossus. I think it's 9. Yeah, it's 8 plus 1, and then this is actually more than 9. It's 9, 10, 11, 12. So, yes, I know that 9 plus 3 is 12. I make mistakes too. Getting some up +2. Really need to catch up on that. Thank you, Chrono Boost, for being so awesome. Able to catch up on his macro after warping in so many more warp gates. Should be okay. Working on pretty full base here. Pretty full. Not so full. Definitely not doing so hot. It needs to expand really badly. King is in a very commanding position right now. Feeling pretty safe, I'm sure. Getting his +1 air armor. I think he just canceled that to turn it to a nee. Oh, yeah, I guess he can't do it yet. He's still got another 30 seconds. I was just guessing. I'm surprised he canceled that. Probably getting ready to turn it to a greater spire, though. These upgrades are silly. With silly upgrades. Evolution chamber. Oh, one of you should attack or something. Because I told you to. That's going to be it. I don't know why he just injected larva on a full hatchery. That's just kind of funny to me. What's this guy doing? 19 larva. 19 larva. 19 larva. I don't know how anybody intends to beat this. That's 19 times 3. Actually, it's just 20 times 3. 60. 60 reinforcements in the minerals and stuff to make them right away. Yeah. You're not in a very good spot, my friend. You're a very, very bad spot, to be quite frank. Secret expanding down here as well. Kind of like that secret expanding stuff. Scrap Station has one of my favorite games I ever played once. It was, yeah, listen to them die. Those poor little larvae. I'll tell you guys a little story while we wait for some action. I was playing this game once with a friend of mine, or an old roommate, actually, while I was up at school. And at this time, I was living here. He just got the game. He's actually in the army right now. So he and I were playing against each other. And I was just shit-talking him. I was gold, and he was like bronze. But he's played Bird War for a lot longer than I knew. And so we play against each other. I do this like fun can and contain on a Terran player. Don't ever do that for a real game. And I said, oh, I was just having fun, you know. Let's play a real game and I'll beat you. He's like, nope, already won. And so he destroys everything of mine over here, you know. This is Scrap Station, by the way. Destroys everything of mine over here. That's where I put all my stuff. So I try to rebuild my army and buildings as fast as I can. He goes over to my base and destroys the shit out of it. And so I secret expand up here, and I secret expand down here. And so I just cannon the shit out of the island, and he comes over with like battle cruisers a couple times, and at this time is when I learned that Void Rays and Phoenix and carriers and motherships can be very effective. I use the air units of the Protoss fleet to protect myself from being destroyed. And cannons, of course. And so I just sat back on the island, and I, built up minerals and stuff. And so then once again, I secret expanded over here. Now, he wasn't a bad player, but he certainly didn't understand he doesn't understand as well as I do now. He didn't expand all over the map or anything. Okay, a couple roaches getting completely obliterated. It's actually probably just freeing up food, to be honest. I think he's trying to get some more food to turn them into broodlords. That's kind of sadistic, but whatever, Kanga. Do whatever you want. You're the leader of the swarm. So I secret expanded over here, and I started making Colossus. And I'm like, he's got tanks, marines, and marauders. What deals with that? And then I thought, you know what? He's only got one expansion, or one base. He's been floating it around and just using it to eat up minerals. If I use Dark Templar, I'll go over there, snipe it, and then beat him. And so I make 16 Dark Templar, walk over there, bang, headshot, boom, headshot, and just destroyed his base. Or, his orbital command. And so then he's sitting there trying to get detection up with his battle cruisers floating around and his MMT. That was horrible, scary. My heart was pounding and pounding. The game lasted for like 2 hours while I controlled my Dark Templar wisely, and he kept looking for my secret expansion. But I think this is Kanga's time to attack. He's banked 6,000, 3,000. His total is over 9,000! And he's got Broodlords. Broodlords are scary. Very scary indeed. They do 22 damage when they attack, and then their broodlings do some damage too. Good unit positioning at this time, sort of. I think it's going to come down to just Colossus and positioning. We got Kanga. He's kind of mushing up all of his units together. It would actually be wiser to move in first with the Broodlords, shoot and pull the army towards the Broodlings, or kind of keep them stuck in a position. Fortunately, getting a couple free shots there. You don't want that Colossus stupidly walking off. They're like, it's like Hansel and Gretel. Let's go kill these guys. Oh man, you're gonna get killed by an entire army now. No. Save one of them. Come on. Oh man. And so this is it, I think. It's a 200 versus 200 army. My computer has 2 frames per second. I'm so sorry, but that's just the way it goes. Broodlords are finally getting to position. The Colossus are doing the damage they need to do. Their army for Kanga is so tightly bunched up right now. Both players have a large unspent reserve of resources. Kanga's got +2/+2, +1, or +2/+2 for both players right now, so they're actually tied overall. And the Corruptors are actually not doing the job they need to. That's probably the big problem here, is the Corruptors are in the front taking damage for the Zerg army when they should be behind the Protoss army doing damage to the Colossus. I got 3 frames per second. Pretty cool. I went up 4 or 3. Broodlords are doing a ton of damage. Really could use Blink right now. Blink against Broodlords is very effective. But unfortunately, the range of the Colossus and the amount of Stalkers at the front is just too much. And they're able to just take all that damage. The Colossus just obliterated that tight little ball there, and now the Broodlords, the slow little armored fat bastards, are just going to sit there and get obliterated by the awesomeness of the Protoss. Yes, it is true that it's difficult to deal with a lot of Colossus. And how do you deal with Colossus? I'm sorry, Kanga, but I gotta say, 30 Corruptors is probably a lot too much. Probably more like 10. Interview on Kanga for this. Why did you make 30 Corruptors? Kind of like a brain fart is what he said. It wasn't really a misclick, he just made 30 Corruptors. Currently has a maxed out army again. Styze didn't macro up very well while he was being attacked. He's got a lot of minerals and stuff to go ahead and make another one. Unfortunately, Kanga's definitely behind because right now he has no minerals, no gas. He isn't mining. I've seen this before. It really sucks. He's not mining any base efficiently. And he just remade his entire army. Unfortunately, that army consists of 30 Corruptors. And all Styze has to do is make a lot of Stalkers and he'll win the game. Here are the whatever they're called, roaches. They're just not enough. They're getting completely obliterated by the first shots of the Colossus. They're like one-shotting them. The only chance that Kanga really has here, he's got to morph some of these into Broodlords, back up and turn them into Broodlords. He needs to also increase his efficiency of his mining. This is good. This is not so good at all, and this is very bad. Yeah, just having hanging out right there is not good for his units. And so although he lost about a 400 food army, Corruptors don't count. So the Corruptors are actually kind of providing some cover for the Roaches. The Roaches here, I think there's just too many Stalkers. It's going to be kind of close. Big thing though is that Styze still has a lot of minerals and gas saved up. He needs to macro up another army right away. Trying to get a couple of Immortals to deal with these Roaches. They're going to have to warp in some more units. Oh my god. Warp in some damn Stalkers. There they are. Warp them in, damn it. Go, go, go. Go, go, Power Stalker. And there they go. So we got 8 Stalkers and, oh, not even 2 Immortals yet. The 8 Stalkers should be able to deal with the rest of these Roaches if he could see them. He's got to focus fire. He's got to take his time and focus fire a unit properly. He can't just do this whole bleh, bleh, bleh thing. Focus fire good. Focus fire good. Oh no. He is buying time for his 2 Immortals to come out. He still has got great minerals and gas. Kinga's not doing so hot in his minerals and gas once again. He needs to increase efficiency back at home. 150 food here versus 68. But, I mean, how much are Corruptors again? Quick look, quick look. Larva, Corruptor 2. And so he's got 30 or so Corruptors here. That would be 60 of his food. Yeah, that's the big thing here. Immortals are finally out. Game is moving definitely at slower speed, so we're actually going to increase it to faster times too. So this is normal. This is actually normal. And yeah, this isn't normal speed. This is faster speed, to be precise. More Roaches coming up to reinforce. Unfortunately, now that the Immortals are here to deal with these Roaches, it will not be a problem anymore. It's kind of sexy to see how fast they kill. Warping in some more Stalkers. I mean, at this point in the game, I have to say I kind of agree with just massive Stalkers. That's just how it gets. You're like, dang, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Just mass Stalkers. Trying to get some Broodlords out is going to help a lot, but I don't think he's going to be able to get them out in time. If he snipes these with his Stalkers, it's just... Okay, gonna just leave them there, I guess. That's cool. Broodlords are kind of cool. There goes one. Oh, I think he's gonna get a second one. He got second one. That was perfect timing. And unfortunately, this third Broodlord will not be able to do enough damage. Styze is able to reinforce a new army. And unfortunately, there just aren't enough Corruptors. Well, I guess there's way too many Corruptors is what I'm trying to say. There aren't enough Corruptors to tank the damage for the other Corruptors. If there was infinite Corruptors, then Kanga would be just fine. They would just keep floating around in space. Goes in space! Oh no! Kanga! Kanga, you're letting your poor Corruptors die. And that poor Broodlord's like, when I get out of here, I'm going to help the swarm and kill everything. And the moment he opens up, he's like, shit, there's an entire army in front of me, isn't there? It's like, I better get out of here right now. Protoss player's got tons of saved minerals and gas. Oh, Kanga does not, though. He still hasn't really... He's gotten better on his gold. He needs to actually have expanded over here again. I don't think he's got anybody idling around, though. Oh, no. Kanga. Kanga. I don't think there's anything that King can really do. His only option, realistically, is just mass Roaches back at home. Or, actually, Hydralisks is probably a much better idea. He's going to have 11 Hydralisks. And, of course, there's no way that you could even get one Colossus out into this field. So, I think he's got a good chance of this still. Kanga's definitely hurting. He's not ahead of bases anymore. He's got one here, not fully saturated. He's got his gold working overtime. Don't want to see that going on. Versus, pretty similar to these two. I'd give him the same amount of points. No base here, and so they're kind of even right now. Problem is, Styze, he's just spent all of his resources, and he's got a very, very big army. Kanga's not really... his units are kind of routing around and getting killed. Very, very bad. He needs to use his Hydralisk as best he can. Should have probably fallen back and taken advantage of the speed of creep he had. There's just not enough Hydralisks to deal with this. They're doing a good job. They took a big sizable chunk out of that Protoss army, but I think that's going to be the GG from Kanga. Gotta say that was kind of... that was hard to cast all these games. I don't know if that's it for Kanga yet, but I would think he's pretty close to losing. He's losing his main mining base right now. One of his 2 main mining bases, I guess.
Even though that phrase doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He's like one of his 2 mainline bases. Well, is it main or secondary? Poor Larva getting decimated right there. Trying to macro up. Got only 8 guys going on there. Just no minerals and no gas going on. Oh man, I know how this feels, KangasKhan. I know exactly how you feel, buddy. When I fight Zerg players, this is what happens to me a lot. Is I got my army and I beat their first one, and their second one just kind of goes. Holy shit, that's not good. This is pretty much what happened to you, except for you also have 30 corruptors floating in space or something, wherever they are now. There they are. I don't know what they're doing, but they're like having a party, I guess. Oh man, he's just gonna have to get as many hydrolists as he can and work together, I guess. I don't know if he's gonna have even close to enough as he needs. Man, Styze just had the position there. I'm totally out of I have high thirst needs. I almost choked myself again like a dumbass. I'm like, time to take a drink. I go like really fast and almost kill myself. Trying to get some Zerglings. I was wiping my mouth off. It's covered in damn water. I don't think Zerglings are good units, but to give you the true rundown of them, there's a reason I would rather have Zealots than Zerglings. Zerglings just, they can't do anything to this. They can do some damage to the edges, but once it's just a ball of deadliness. Hydrolists are what he really needs. Doing his best to defend. I got to give it to Kanga here. Not for winning, but that was definitely good resistance he put up, you know? Good last stand. Not much he can do, though. That is definitely going to be the GG from Kanga. Losing all of his tech buildings is just deadly for Zerg, and of course you don't want to lose your hive. The gigantic vaginal hive. This is what happens when I let Toss macro off of 30 bases. And GG's. Good game, says Kanga. And so that would be the final moment. This would be the final moments of the ace match between KangasKhan, and Styze. Styze won the StarCraft Central Gold Under tournament. We intend to be doing about monthly, last Sunday of every month. I'll be trying to cast the semis, the finals, and the third place bronze match, whatever we called it. I always mess it up. Thank you guys for enjoying this cast. Thank you for creating StarCraft Central. Thank you for playing in the tournament, and thank you for being awesome.